this 7-year-old, Chuck E. Cheese was cool. Now, I had never been there, but my friend Scott had been there, and he said it was awesome. He once told me, Mark, if you go to Chuck E. Cheese, you are guaranteed pizza prizes and pandemonium, which, coincidentally enough, were the only 3 things in life that mattered to 7-year-old boys. Because 7-year-old girls had cooties. I wanted to go to Chuck E. Cheese so bad that my parents even wrote it on my index card. Well, we didn't have a computer in our house, so our parents kept index cards on all the kids. And on the card, they would have the kid's name, their strengths and their weaknesses, how smart or intelligent they were, and all of the toys and games that they ever said they wanted. My parents took the time to write down every single toy and game I ever said I wanted growing up. They never actually bought any of them for me, but they wrote them on the index card so they would have that information if they ever wanted to use it against me later on in life. One day, Mom told Dad to take me to the dentist. Now, Dad knew I would never go to the dentist willingly. I had never been there, but my friend Scott had, and he said it was terrible. So my dad reached into his pocket, found my index card. He saw on there that I had short-term memory problems. I wanted to go to Chuck E. Cheese, and I was as bright as a candle. So he came up to me and he said, Mark, you want to go to the dentist? And I said, no. And then he said, Mark, you want to go to the dentist? And I said, no. And then he waited 5 seconds, and then he said, Mark, do you want to go to Chuck E. Cheese, boy? And I said, yeah! I was so excited, I ran down and jumped in the front seat of my dad's car. I was like one of those apartment dogs that thinks he's going to poop at the fancy dog park. But in reality, he's not going to the dog park. He's going to the vet. He just doesn't know it because his owner didn't tell him. That was just like me. I wasn't going to Chuck E. Cheese. I was going to the dentist. But I didn't know it because my owner didn't tell me. So apparently we're in the waiting room outside of Chuck E. Cheese. And I'm looking around at all the other kids in there, and none of them are happy. This kid over here is depressed, and this girl's crying. And I look around and I see pictures of smiling faces and teeth on the wall. And it was as if a light went off over my head. Bing! And I suddenly realized something. It all became crystal clear to me at that particular moment. I wasn't with a bunch of excited kids at Chuck E. Cheese. I was the only excited kid at Chuck E. Cheese. Man! Oh, and when that lady called my name saying I could go to the back, I jumped out of my seat. I was so happy. I wanted to share my enthusiasm. So I went over and I danced in front of that girl who was crying because she had cooties. Chuck E. Cheese, yeah! I even went over to the boy who was depressed and I danced in front of him. Chuck E. Cheese, yeah! Oh, I couldn't contain myself. I have been waiting for this moment my entire life. All 7 years. Oh, all I had to do was get through that door. And I knew every dream and fantasy I had was going to come true. So I hit that door, I run it, and by the time I burst through those doors, I was in full theme song mode. I was like, Chuck E. Jesus, what is this? This place was nothing like my friend Scott had described it. I was so mad I didn't even speak to my dad the whole way home. Remember, on the way there, I was like the dog going to the dog park, drooling with anticipation. On the way back, I was like the dog coming home from the vet. Still drooling, but not from anticipation at this point. When I got home, my friend Scott came over to compare notes. Mark, I heard you went to Chuck E. Cheese, man. Wasn't it awesome? Scott, I don't know which one you went to, but the Chuck E. Cheese I went to sucked. Well, didn't you play the wide variety of games? No. Every room there had the exact same game. It was a chair. And no matter how long I sat in in it, no matter how much it hurt. I couldn't get any stupid tickets to come out. Oh, but what about the wall of prizes? Wasn't it great, all the prizes they have on the wall? Scott, there was no wall of prizes. Every prize came from the same desk drawer, and they were all toothbrushes. But what about the pizza and drinks? I didn't even get any pizza, and the only drinks they gave me free refills on was something called fluoride. Mark, it doesn't sound like you're describing Chuck E. Cheese at all. It sounds like you're describing the dentist. He was right. Now that I thought about it, I never saw the 6-foot rat, and my jaw was killing me. Eventually, thanks to my short-term memory problems, I was able to get over that incident. And I grew up a much smarter and wiser man. And recently I took my kids to the real Chuck E. Cheese, which was, in my daughter's own words, awesome sauce. It was expensive though. I spent $87 whacking a mole. And after all that time, I only had enough tickets to get one prize. Guess what I got?